questions from following follow-up questions concerning actions following the vote of confidence, which I sent to the clerk at least 2 weeks ago.
We've not received on it.
Well, that's not that's not my problem. So can you now allow me to ask the questions and you can go away and give me a written answer?
Councillor Rowley, can you please moderate your tone? Councillor Rowley.
Yeah, for anybody that wants to know, the local town clerk has asked me to send her my questions so she can record them in the minutes. Before I ask my questions, I would just like to remind all of us that this meeting is currently, this council is currently a gold quality council. And that has come about through the hard-won work of all of our staff, particularly the town clerk. I would ask members to be mindful of losing that accolade by their actions and answers. I held a City Council surgery in the centre this afternoon, and before you ask, Chairman, yes, I did pay for the room. The place was packed, and I had several people come and speak to me. To a man, they were asking about the centre. Leigh is deeply concerned, and you can witness that today. And you are not helping to alleviate the situation. As a vote of no confidence cannot be repeated within 6 months of a previous one, much as I would want to bring one at every meeting, I have reverted to a number of questions, all of which are relevant to the period since the meeting on the 13th of September, 5 weeks ago. Lest I be accused of straying into personal staffing matters in relation to individual personnel, which should remain confidential, and I agree, I make it very clear here that my questions relate to governance and procedure. I don't know whether you want to, I think it might be better if I went through them all and then you can decide on what you're going to answer afterwards. First question, the town clerk remains suspended after nearly 3 months with no end in sight, and it's clear that somewhere a decision has been made to extend the period, but for how long, I don't know. There has been no staffing committee, and thus no official committee decision to back this up. The decision to extend the suspension is therefore ultra vires and should not stand. Please can you advise me who made that decision and under what authority, and why a staffing meeting was not called to do so, and when the town clerk can retake her position. My second question, it is common knowledge that all staff have submitted a grievance against the town council as the body corporate. Prior to her suspension, a grievance had been submitted by the town clerk, which has not been dealt with. And yet a further grievance has been submitted by the finance officer against allegations of potential fraud made at the last meeting, which affects not only her, but the staff's reputation. These grievances affect the 3 independent councillors because we too are part of the body corporate. Therefore, our reputations are being sullied by these grievances, which have brought the reputation of the council into disrepute. Will you now confirm unequivocally that all the grievances relate solely to the actions of the Conservative members? Third question. You have heard that there is considerable fear and worry from those who use the council services in the centre, the allotments, etc. Many of these have livelihoods to maintain, of which the centre is a vital part. Will you now confirm, as you have done earlier, but I wanted to say it again, unequivocally that Leigh Town Council and Leigh Community Centre and all its various assets and activities will remain unaltered except...
You're not listening. He's talking. Chairman, you how about listening? Rude. Respect.
Will you now confirm unequivocally agree that Leigh Town Council and the Community Centre and all its various assets and activities will remain unaltered except for any genuinely consulted on, debated and agreed changes that are beneficial to the people of Leigh, and the centre will remain under the auspices of Leigh Town Council, and no moves will be made to change that status. Next question. The people of Leigh have a right to know how we are spending their council tax. I'm sure you would agree. So with that in mind, will you please apprise them of the following costs? Bearing in mind that some of these are published or have been advised to me by the local clerk. The cost so far for the local services. The cost of the auditor on the allegation of potential fraud. The cost of the HR consultant is given in the accounts which are in the main body of this agenda at £2,820. I understand that that was for 20 hours work. Can you please advise as to whether you have authorised them to take any additional work since their first engagement, and if so, how much that is going to cost? Can I also ask why the brief to the HR consultants has not been made available to councillors and the local clerk hasn't got it, despite several requests? Adjunct to that, who wrote the brief and approved it for submission, and why was no approval sought to its content from the staffing committee? When the decision was made to engage a new HR consultant, and Councillor Bowery is going to ask a question about that later, I asked whether the 3 independent members were to be allowed to take part in the investigation, and you said yes. Why has 20 hours of investigation gone by and we have not been included? When are you going to re-establish the committee timetable, which was approved under your chairmanship in May, and ensure that all that has been left undone is done, and most importantly, proceed with the budget for 24-25? To this end, will you produce a chart of all outstanding or overlooked matters so that we can all see what needs to be done within the next 10 days? What, if any, actions beneficial to the residents of Leigh have been taken since the meeting on the 13th of September? And just to intersperse, the lady that asked me a question which you didn't allow her to finish. £15,000 could pay for an awful lot of things. Yeah. It could pay for enhancements to the children's events that we hold here, the OAP events we hold here, various maintenance things, events outside, things down the skate park, Strand Wharf, and a lot of other things. 15,000 is a lot of money. My final question is perhaps the most important one. For the benefit of those in the audience, I have circulated a copy of the Nolan Principles and what they require of those in public life. Can you please tell the residents what they are and stand for, and most importantly, comment on each individually as to how you are fulfilling them?
We will provide you with a full written reply to all your questions, which we may publish.
One at a time. Come on. Answer the question.
Is that it?